Shalom. Before I start, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Barakah Kodash, give honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the like to Akim wa Akwath, learning and teaching in truth and sincerity. Another video through the Spirit, your brother Malak from GMS Detroit. And what we are going to have here is Mr. I Don't Know. Self-proclaimed Mr. I Don't Know. Vocab Malone. That's his new name, y'all. Mr. I Don't Know. Because when it comes to the important prophecies of these breakdowns, as they like to use the phrase eschatology, end time prophecies, he doesn't know. He's not sure, what it could be, what it might be, what it may be. These are the terminologies. That's the type of terminology that he uses when trying to break down these things. So he doesn't know. I watched his Revelation 13 breakdown, and basically, to sum it all up, y'all, the beast being mentioned in Revelation 13, it's not dealing with the actual earthly man and his earthly people that currently are running the world. He believes that, basically the Antichrist is an actual man that's going to be running the show. What else? The Antichrist. What else do we have? I'm tripping. I just did that again. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. The Antichrist is going to set up some sort of government system that he's going to make people worship. And the Antichrist is an actual man, some sort of demonic energy type thing. What else? The false prophet is another being that is going to make people worship the Antichrist. The Antichrist is going to have the ability to do miracles that's going to make people worship it. So he doesn't believe that it has anything to do with America, nothing to do with the ruling governments that rule the world, nothing to do with the technology that exists today. And he also he believes that the mark of the beast is spiritual. But he said it could be something physical. He's just not sure. So I'm going to let different parts of these clips play. And just to show you, this is why this guy, after watching his breakdown of Revelation 13, he's a lot dumber than what I actually, don't give this guy too much credit, y'all. He's truly not on a level whatsoever. So let me let this play. We're letting a couple things play.
Crush and trample down the remainder with its feet, and it was different from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. If these are describing succeeding empires, and the evidence indicates
in which Elder Yashawamba and Elder Ariala out of Dallas, they did responses to these. He's incorrect on much of what he's saying. It's not succeeding. When you're dealing in Revelation, those the horns, they're under Edom. All right. Back then, the vassal states of Rome, they were under Rome, supporting it, right? Clients. They weren't 10 kingdoms that came after, right? So he's already got the timeline fucked up. Only thing he got halfway correct was the 4 beasts out of Daniel, and that's about it. Babylon, Persia, Medes, Greece, and Rome. Everything else is just complete garbage.
If you have Babylon first, and then if you have Medo-Persian next, and then you have Greek next, what's after the Greeks? Rome. That would be the 4th beast, and that would be the 4th kingdom. And I think we get some help by seeing the stone coming during the days of Rome in Daniel 2. That's why it was important to look at Daniel 2 prior, because this shows you Jesus is born under the Roman Empire. Now, what about the 10 horns?
So he's about to give you his janky breakdown on the 10 horns. But what he just said right there about Daniel 2 is incorrect. That stone hitting the feet at the 4th empire does not represent Yahushua being born. It represents him coming back in the end times and destroying the resurrected Roman Empire, which is what? He doesn't have the answer for that. All right. What is that little horn? What is that whore that rides upon the beast? All right. What is that head that had a wound that was healed? He can't tie it to America because he doesn't want to accept it. The fact that this place is the Roman Empire revived. He doesn't want to acknowledge that. So he went on to say that that stone coming to the feet represented Yahushua being born in the time of the Roman Empire. That's completely incorrect. Yahushua didn't destroy Rome 2,000 years ago. Otherwise, we'd be in the kingdom by now. Stop it.
This is where the debate comes in. Now, notice it's sort of a minor part of it, but lots and lots of debate. Some people try to make this certain Roman emperors. They'll try to say, oh, these are these different Roman emperors. I don't think that works. People have interesting ways that they try to make it work. This is the part where I say I'm still figuring that out and thinking about it. What it seems to be to me is, though, simple.
So he doesn't fucking have it, y'all. I'm still trying to figure it out. I don't know it, but you niggas damn sure don't know it. And we just supposed to sit, while the world is ending, we're just supposed to sit and accept that. Oh, well, if he don't know, we don't know. No, dude. So let's start. This one, I'm not really going to be, we should know some of the major tenets of these breakdowns, right? The 10 horns, the 7 heads, the 4 beasts, right? This is mainly just a rebuttal showing you, he's just, he has that Edomite disease where they believe that they're always right and us being black, we're always wrong, so-called. And it's a horrible disease to have that he's suffering from. White supremacist correction disease. It's a horrible affliction, y'all. Let me get that Amos. So, see, he's not a prophet, so it's not given to him to know or understand these things. Amos 3 and 7. Surely Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai power will do nothing because he revealeth his secret unto his servants the prophets. We have these answers because we are the prophets, and Lord willing, we're of the elect, right? So now I'm going to go on to the second video. This one actually right here. Let's open it up. The actual Revelation 13 breakdown.
The freedom to make decisions about one's own body should not be made by the government.
So we're going to be fast forwarding all throughout this. I got different points marked. You're just going to see where he just says things that are completely fucking dog shit. I got certain things marked, the 144,000 isn't literal. He says, the Antichrist is going to make people worship him like people worship Trump. There's a particular point. He says the Antichrist is going to be born in 7 years, or is it going to arrive in 7 years? Fucking insanity. Insanity, y'all. This is folly. Let's fast forward. So he pulls up the scriptures where the word Antichrist is used, and interesting enough, the word Antichrist isn't used in the book of Revelation. So we're not dealing with some one individual with unghastly amounts of power that's going to come down here and make everybody submit. There's already a person on the earth. There's already a people on the planet Earth who are ruling that are antagonistic to the Israelites and are the antithesis of everything that the Bible has instituted. And when you're being real, you can look at the Bible and you can look at the world and realize it's a so-called white man and his people. The way that they are running the world compared to how the Bible says we're supposed to run. All right, now something that I do want to get real quick, just to let you know, when you're looking at these beasts, these creatures in Revelation, it's not talking about any one man with some unholy amount of power, who's supernatural. Just the weakest breakdown I've ever seen. Let me get was it Revelation 17? Let me get something real quick. Because he's gonna make a statement at a particular point too. Remember, y'all, these 10 heads, it mentions that they're kings, right? Which they're, the 10 starter nations, which began as the EEC, European Economic Community, and which now have turned into EU/NATO, right? Putting together the beast and the 10 horns. This isn't referring to the Antichrist himself. All right, let me get Revelation 17, and I'm gonna start at verse 15, it says, "And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues." Right, so this whore, which it tells you is a city, not a person, not an antichrist. Reading, I'm jumping now actually. Actually, I'm gonna read through verse 16. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast," so those 10 nations, right? "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." We know that they're gonna send nuclear missiles to America. But if for some reason you were confused and thought that, this is all dealing with the Antichrist, this ain't dealing with no man named Antichrist. Verse 17 through 18. "For the power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and to give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the power shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth." So this is a great city, all right? And it's not just a city, it's an entire country. All right, it's not the Vatican City either, which some idiots will say. This isn't dealing with any one man Antichrist who's going to have control over the world and set up some sort of NWO government with supernatural powers flying around with a horn out his head and a tail out his ass. We're dealing with real humans on planet Earth, running government, running countries, right? Laws, establishments, militaries. That's the reality. This guy is in a mystical Christian land, waiting for some redskin nigga to fall out the air. All right, Salaki, y'all.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. I'm reading out of the Legacy Standard Bible. "And the dragon stood on the sand of the seashore. Then I saw a beast coming up out of the sea, having 10 horns and 7 heads. And on his horns were 10 diadems," that means crowns. "And on his heads were blasphemous names." Now, the multi-headed sea creature is reminiscent of who, of what? The Leviathan. The Leviathan, at the very least, is a kind of a mythical beast that represents things, specifically the forces of chaos within Scripture. And so you have this beast coming out of the sea that also looks like the Leviathan. The idea is that chaos is coming to town. Understand? Chaos is emerging out of the chaotic background.
So once again, because I had my phone paused for a minute while I was talking. So, but right here, so Revelation 13:1, the forces of chaos under the symbology of Leviathan. Stop it. What does that look like in our rural world that we live in, where we are suffering things? What does that look like? I just read that. I read that Revelation 17 for a reason. We learned that what we're dealing with nations, peoples, right? We're not seeing literal. This isn't literal animals or just an ambiguous ass statement. The forces of evil. What the fuck does that translate to in our world? All right, Revelation 13:1. "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea." We read in Revelation 17, what's that sea? Rising up out of the people. So this is a government, this is an establishment rising up from the people, all right? Taking power over the earth, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. All right, the 7 heads, we know what? Those 7 major Edomite empires: Greece, Rome, Germania, Major, Minor, Spanish, French, British. Right, the 10 horns back then, the 10 vassal states of Rome. Today's time, again, is the EEC. Right. These are governments. These are humans that are down here doing evil, not just evil itself. All right, the names of blasphemy, all the wicked shit that Esau pushes out, in his empires that he allows people to do. That ambiguous shit ain't gonna cut it. We need to know these breakdowns, not just making statements. Oh, that's just evil. That's Leviathan and the appearance of evil. What the fuck does that mean? All right, we're going to the next one. I got different markers. We just hopping through. He's not equipped to break anything down.
We don't know, we can speculate, but this is something that it seems the Antichrist is going to do in some way. And how exactly, what exactly, we don't know, we can speculate, but this is
Once again, Mr. I don't know.
something that it seems the Antichrist is going to do.
So what's the head that was that got wounded and it was healed and the world marveled? He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So if you don't know, why the fuck are you teaching? What does the scripture say about that?
In some way. And I use sometimes contemporary figures for just loose parallels that maybe it will help us. Let's talk about Trump for a second. I'm not saying he's the Antichrist, by the way.
So now he's making the Trump comparison. So basically let me just get this real quick. Sirach 5 and 12. If thou hast understanding, answer thy neighbor. If not, lay thy hand upon thy mouth. Honor and shame is in the talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So this guy is so proud, he doesn't want to leave it alone. He wants to go on to give you his explanation, which is what? We don't know. It's up for speculation. But the white man's I don't know is better than a nigga's is. Because remember, according to this man's constitution, we're 2/5 of a human being. So we don't have the mental competence to be able to understand anything, especially behind the Bible. Nor are we being, in their eyes, right? They don't believe the Holy Spirit is dealing with us because we're the descendants of slaves. And we're dumb niggas to them. This is bullshit.
He's the Antichrist, by the way. In fact, if you have to vote for one of the two candidates coming up, I'll just put it this way. I could never vote for Harris. I think that's a unwise move. Now, you don't have to vote, but if you do, I don't see how, if you want to be biblically faithful, you could do that. We could disagree about that.
So, vocab might be a little bit sexist, too. And a little bit racist, which we already know that.
It's neither here nor there per se right now, but let's talk about Trump for a second. When the bullet goes through his ear, and there's like this 1/16th of a second in which he could have turned perfect, where it just goes through his ear, and he stands up and says, fight, fight, fight. He wants to finish his speech. He's bleeding all over, at the rally there in Pennsylvania in this chaotic scene. You see how, as far as his followers, now obviously the country is divided about if he should be a leader or not, right? You see among people who support him great respect and admiration for this, and a lot of people almost thought like, oh, this is going to win him the election. Now, it's wild the way the news cycle works. It's almost like within a week later been forgotten about. I even saw some Dems online kind of mocking, or I don't want to say bragging, but saying, I think he thought that was going to win him the election, but that's just it ain't do nothing. You can't win on that. Something like that, stuff like that. Now, with all that being said, try to picture something like that, but more drastic, more extreme, and something that the whole world was interested in or cared about. Imagine something like that on a much greater, bigger, grander scale going down. So we can, I think, envision how this could be. Although we haven't seen it, if we're here, we'll know it when we see it. Now, when I say if we're here.
So he's saying the Antichrist is going to get wounded and then heal. But this hasn't happened yet. Y'all, to him, many of these chapters in Revelation are even our future. Do you understand? He thinks that certain parts of Revelation 13 hasn't happened yet. He doesn't want to accept the fact that these are parts of history where kingdoms have risen to power, some have fallen, right? No, he thinks this is dealing with a whole new nigga that is yet to hit the scene that we're waiting on. For all we know, could take another 50 fucking years. Man, y'all, stop it. Still throwing in I don't knows. Still throwing in, that plausible deniability type speech. Well, it might be.
Let's say you want to start building credit and you need a credit card to do that.
Well, it could be. We get to kind of see an idea. Man, come on, man. Hey, now, the things of the kingdom we can't tell you about in detail because we're not in the kingdom yet. But for all intents and purposes, y'all, these other prophecies, you got to be able to break them down. Revelation 13th chapter is lightweight, easy money. Deuteronomy 29 and 29. The secret things belong unto the Lord our power. Right, the secret, the specifics of the kingdom, we're going to find that out when we get there. Right, things like that. But what has been given unto us? It says, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of this law. All right, Revelation 13 has been revealed to us. That's why it says what? Here is wisdom. At the end of it. We know what the mark is. We know what the beast are. We know what the 7 heads are. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai have been taught properly by our elders and apostles, and have been constantly reaffirming our faith in it, so that when it comes, we know what to avoid. This guy's not sure of anything. Neither is his followers. And when you go through the comments, you see that. You have certain people saying that, well, could the Antichrist be Islam and Muhammad? And could he be the false prophet, since he created a major religion that has made much of the earth convert to it and is battling with Christians? And that's actually a good argument from a dummy nigga standpoint. That's something better to work with than a mystical Antichrist nigga who has yet to hit the scene, even though the book of Revelation never used that term to describe anybody, any one man specifically with absurd amounts of power who's going to be killing the saints. This is all tied into that retarded anti-Christian form of belief. A red nigga underground and a white god sitting up in the clouds. And then they battling each other, man. Stop it.
World. I take that as predestination. A couple world leader who could be like that. Whoever this person is has got to live, I guess, for at least 7 years from now.
He's saying the Antichrist is going to live from at least 7 years from now. Well, I don't know where the fuck he got that from, though. What?
You know what I'm saying? And they seem to be powerful.
Somebody asked, do you think the Antichrist is alive right now? The scriptures say there are many Antichrists. It's simply anybody who goes against the doctrine given to us by the Messiah. It's not some mystical, superpowered guy. You Edomites are that man of sin in 2 Thessalonians. That's what he doesn't want to accept. The scriptures tell you that the Messiah returned to an Edomite-ruled earth. So put 2 and 2 together. Isaiah 63 and in 2 Esdras 6, which, that's why he don't like to deal with the Apocrypha. Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Right. So Isaiah is seeing a vision of the Messiah destroy Edomites. It tells you in Isaiah the 34th chapter that there's a sacrifice in Basra. Where in history did we see the Edomites get miraculously destroyed by the divine Messiah of the Israelites? Nowhere. It hasn't happened yet. So it means what? The Edomites are still here and they're going to be destroyed at his return. The Maccabees didn't do it. We were still fighting to get in and out of captivity from the Greeks. Right? In Isaiah's time, we're getting hammered by the Assyrians. Right? Come on. This is future prophecy. That man of sin is Edom, not some actual red-skinned guy somewhere.
They seem to be powerful. Think about things that happen with COVID or world wars and things like that. You gotta have these massive, chaotic crisis situations happen, and then someone emerges and establishes a new order. I think that could happen. Red Pill Podcast isn't Prophet Muhammad. an antichrist. He denied Jesus, Son of God. Certainly.
That's a good argument from a worldly retarded standpoint if you didn't know the scriptures. So it already shows there's a flaw in this dude. We're not waiting on some one guy to pop up. It's the Edomites. Stop it.
A type or a kind of antichrist, according to 1 John. We started off with that, absolutely, and to follow them to the Lord. J.T. Smith says the two witnesses of Revelation are preaching for 3.5 years, but where? Israel, who will oppose them? Radical Muslims. Okay, so I see a lot of people are making a lot of this stuff about Islam. Now, we don't know what type of role Islam's going to play or not play. And it's interesting, it was prior to this, during, say, the Protestant Reformation or right after that, a lot of the applications that Christians were making then, of course, was about the Roman Catholic Church. A lot of it was in the West, okay?
So that's another thing. He comes from the crackhead Calvinists. They believe that the Roman Catholic Church was, the source of all the evil and whatnot. So Vocab, you mean to tell me your beliefs are going against your own Protestants and Reformists? So you're smarter than the niggas who set up your belief system? Stop it, y'all. Stop the cap.
Be a different kind of set of things. I don't see any way that you can know that, and that's really what it's saying. And let me say,
we know these answers through the Holy Spirit, and that's the thing. That's what he. I don't see any way. Well, when the Holy Spirit is dealing, you don't need to go to the white man's school system to properly learn the Bible. All right, 1 Corinthians. And what I'm doing, y'all, I'm just getting scriptures like this, y'all. We understand. We know what we're talking about. We have the truth. He doesn't. Don't be discouraged or persuaded otherwise. 1 Corinthians 1:26. For ye see your calling, brethren, how that not many wise men after the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called. But the power hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and the power hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. That's the position that we're set up in. We're assumingly, ignorant niggas who have the mysteries of the Bible, and they can't fucking comprehend it. Because he's just going way off. If we're leaving it up to him, your ass to get walked right into a concentration camp, none the wiser. Fuck around with this guy. I think you're expecting some antichrist guy to pop up, and the whole time you got white people in suits and guns and helmets on leading you to your fucking doom. But he don't want to see it. Edomites.
let me say a few things about that. I don't think that's even the case, that there's only two actual literal witnesses, and they're in Israel physically. And I'm not alone on this at all. In fact, I was just listening to Rob's podcast. I had him on before. I always have trouble pronouncing his last name. Darren Plea. He has 3 books, These Brothers of Mine. I mean, he has more than 3, but 3 I'm going to name. Understanding Eschatology, and what was the other one? I can't remember the other one off the top of the head. But these are books specifically about the book of Revelation and eschatology. And he mentioned this position, which is also my position, that the 2 witnesses are the worldwide Christian church. They'll be the ones witnessing during this time, and they'll be slain all over the world by those who oppose them.
The worldwide Christian church. Wow. That's the 2 witnesses. No, Northern and Southern Kingdom. It can get more specific, but a broad understanding, Northern and Southern Kingdom. The Israelites, the prophets, going out and prophesying. Stop it, Vocab. The worldwide Christian church. Christianity's in a fucking toilet. You got atheism worldwide. Fuck is you talking about? He's just talking, y'all, and he wouldn't cite some random nigga that he knows. Vocab, what's the chance? Man, stop it. Let me just let this play. This is folly.
Essentially, the leader of this false global, on the fact that it's more little horn, has face and eyes like a mouth, right? And that's interesting because prior to that, you have beastly description. To me, what that does is center it on the fact that it's more about a person versus.
So to him, the little horn is a man. It's not an actual kingdom. So you see how he just don't fucking got it, y'all. He don't fucking got it. Referring to the little horn, going back to Daniel speaking, which we understand is America, all pushing out all the wickedness that that it does to the world, not one actual man. Because once again, when we read that Revelation 17, y'all, we're dealing with empires, we're dealing with kingdoms, we're dealing with peoples, not one man who has red skin who's super evil. Stop it.
A large empire. Everything in the world as a global empire will be centered on this person. So it seems like it's...
You know, it's funny. I would like, ask Vocab, okay, what skin color do you think the Antichrist would have? You think he's going to show up? You know, there's no such thing, right? But that'd be funny. Oh, well, if the Antichrist is going to show up, it would make the most sense that he's white, right? And you see that nigga would flip his shit. Well, oh, so now the Antichrist would be black? That's the only thing we can get, huh? He wouldn't be white, even though the whole world does what Edomites tell him to, and that's who they listen to. But the Antichrist wouldn't be what? He'd be an Arab guy or a mixed looking dude. Y'all see what I'm saying? If there was an Antichrist, he'd be a fucking cracker. Stop it, man.
One singular individual, Antichrist and his government, and one singular individual, the false prophet, that's the second beast from the earth, and his religious system that is designed to unify and point to the first beast, the Antichrist. So it seems like he's essentially the leader of this false global state-forced religion.
Do you know how worried we...
So that's basically the breakdown. We're waiting on, and Revelation 13 is basically telling us that we're waiting on some guy who's going to be evil and running the show and set up some sort of world government that's going to make everybody worship it, and those who don't, he's going to kill, and his mark is going to be spiritual.
Religion.
As if we don't have this in the world already. A group of people running the world with evil intentions, making everybody bow down to what they want, as if this cabal, which cabal means an evil group, doesn't already exist. He doesn't want to wake up to the coffee. He doesn't want to accept that it's his people. 101 and then 113 and then we're done. All right.
State forced religion, the head of it. Interesting, isn't it? Revelation chapter 13. Now let's go to verse 13. And he does great sins. This is the second beast from the earth, who, it's simpler because they're both called beasts, to describe him as the false prophet and his false religion. And he does great signs. So he is also empowered by the dragon, where he has some kind of miraculous power as well, so that he even makes fire come down out of heaven to the earth in the presence of men. Now, what exactly is that? There's people who say that's drones, it's nuclear missiles, something like that. Something that seems miraculous, though, because we know about Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's not necessarily miraculous. That's science. We know about that. So to me, it doesn't seem like that would be that. Plus, this is the leader of the religious system.
So, just because we know about it, it's not miraculous. Bitch, do you not? In the last 200 years, we went from horses and buggies to literal being. Now, we haven't been to the moon, but you can go up to certain parts of the space, right? International Space Station. Underwater travel, supersonic speed jets, cell phones. That's a fucking miracle. Being able to talk to somebody on the other side of the planet and see their faces, not in front of them. A defibrillator is a fucking miracle. Electrocuting somebody and bringing them back from death. Surgery, swapping out fucking body parts is a miracle. But he's so carnal, he can't even see it. Oh, that's just science. Huh? So we're waiting on the Antichrist to show up and just snap his fingers and shoot fire like fucking General Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist, and then everybody's go ooh ooga booga and jump around the nigga. Nigga, we got y'all. Man, hey, 1 Corinthians 2:14, perfect, right next to it. But the natural man receiveth not the things of the spirit of the power, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. He don't get it, y'all. These things are spiritually discerned. He can't get it. Nor can these people of the world get it. The things that they've been revealed to us, the babes, y'all.
Of the religious system. This isn't the first beast who's the Antichrist. And what's it designed to do? It seems to get people to worship the first beast, the Antichrist.
So there's like 4 Antichrists now. There's a nigga named the false prophet who's gonna make you worship a couple of them different Antichrists. Y'all, I'm just letting y'all see this so y'all can see the folly of what's going on in his mind. Now I see, you know, Vocab, back in the day, him coming up and debating was a big deal. This nigga's not on no level, bro.
The American people want to know.
Vocab, stay your sorry weak ass on somewhere and go vote for Trump. You truly don't know the Bible. It's being put on the forefront now.
Guy, the false prophet, is promoting you will be killed. And notice how this ties in with the previous thing. So if anyone's killed with the sword, I'm saying it like that on purpose because I
And he's breaking this down all wrong. Rev 13, 9 through 10.
believe that's a better way to come them today. But it shows you how Revelation 13 hangs together tightly as a unit. And this makes sense, not inserting American slavery and whatnot into the context.
Rev 13, 9 through 10 isn't just dealing with American slavery. It's dealing with wrongdoing in general. You've been out here killing people by the sword, you're going to get killed. You've been out here putting people in captivity, you're going to have to get put in captivity. Linking it back to that Numbers 35 and 30. So you should not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood defileth the land. What was it, 35, 33? The land cannot be cleansed of blood but by the blood of him that shed it. So we don't just use it for American captivity. It can be used for multiple captivities that the Israelites have suffered. Nevertheless, it's general. You out here doing that, that's how you got to get touched back. But once again, he wants so hard to remove any possibility of his people suffering for the things that they've done.
Shout out to Jay Fry. Thank you for the super chat. You are the second one of today, and you help keep this program going.
Okay, why are you taking these people money?
Very much, Jay Fry. Appreciate. Now, continuing on here with verse 16. And he causes all, the small and the great, and the rich and the poor, and the free men, and the slaves. Everybody, every class, everywhere. Now, why is that significant? Again, this can't be about American slavery. Notice even the slaves themselves are the ones in trouble here in this context. They be given a mark.
We never said 13 through 14 was talking about American slavery. This is clearly is dealing with prisoners, bro. Everybody in all positions. Motherfuckers that's CEOs, motherfuckers that's in jail, that's homeless, everybody. The lower working class, everybody. And really everybody's a slave today. So stop it.
Right hand or on their forehead. Now, we're not doing the whole thing on this because I usually try to keep these in a certain time period, but I'll just say this briefly. I don't take this as a literal physical mark that's going to be on the right hand or the forehead. It's important to understand the right hand or the forehead are ways to symbolize basically what you do and what you think.
So the Antichrist's mark is spiritual. Once again, but here it is. He's a carnal guy. He's a demon going around killing and destroying, but he's going to give you a spiritual mark. All you have to do is believe in him and say you worship him. You can fake that.
It's emphasized. This ties in with the context. Shout out to Jay Fry. Appreciate slaves. Everybody, every class in this context, that they be given a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. This as a literal physical mark that's going to be on the right hand or the forehead. It's important to understand the right hand or the forehead are ways to symbolize basically what you do and what you think. And it seems like this is saying you're going to be identified with the beast system. How are you marked, though? You're marked by the worship of the image of the beast, because that's the context here. This is something religious, where you're giving your allegiance.
So to be able to buy or sell, we gonna, you walk up in the spot. Did you worship the Antichrist today? Oh, I sure did. Okay, you can buy a Snickers. Dude, what the fuck? And some of them janky Israelite groups also give that weak sauce breakdown that the mark is spiritual, which it's not. It's a literal mark implanted into the skin. Karagma, kaisai stigma. Those words mean what they mean. Come on now. Let me just get one more. We'll go to 113 where he said what he said about the 144.
44,000 could become a point of contention in this, because some of you might think, well, those are little tribes and those are little Jewish people. I hold that that's the church. I've done videos on that. I'm not the only one, but I think it's important to bring out it's just a symbolic way to describe God's elect, the church.
So that in Rev 7, it's not literally dealing with the elect. It's dealing with fuck me, dude. This guy's so all right, let me get this out of I'll end on this one. Yeah. Now this is the original precept, right? Psalms 8 and 2. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies, that thou mightest still the enemy and the avenger. Right? So coming back, so the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai came to the babes, all right, the weak ones of this world, downtrodden and beaten, lowly, right? We have been given the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of this Bible, and ultimately it is going to result in being raised up to take this man down. And Vocab, he can't quantify it in his head, and neither can any of these Christians, y'all. If you're waiting on one of them to give you the answer, you're gonna be dead as a fucking doorknob. He's talking about he don't know, Antichrist ain't been born yet. So whose vagina is gonna push him out? Straight up like that. Whose Johnson is carrying the Antichrist? Into what female has the here it is, a chick can barely give birth to one of our haggly asses. Who's gonna shove the most evil thing ever out of their canal? What does that entail? Come on, y'all. You can't possibly take that guy serious. You can't. Not after a showing like that. That was trash. Matthew 11 and 25. At that time Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto the babes. Hey, so we've been given this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, y'all, and not these assholes of the world who think that they're better than us. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is dealing with us, and I'm glad, because this ain't it. This ain't the breakdown. This is not the breakdown. What the fuck is that anyway in the background? This is not it. He's piss poor quality. All right. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakorash, give honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the elect Akim wa Akwath, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. Shalom.